Ethan Mercer woke to a strange, rhythmic hum, his head throbbing like a drum. His vision was blurred, and for a moment, he couldn't remember where he was, or why. The last thing he remembered was the shuttle crash, the violent impact against the barren surface of Terra's 7, and the darkness that followed. When his eyes finally focused, he realized he was lying on a broad, softly glowing platform, surrounded by a room of iridescent walls that seemed alive, pulsing faintly with energy. Above him, the ceiling shimmered like liquid crystal, reflecting his every movement. And standing at the edge of the platform was Lyra, an alien with luminous lavender skin and eyes that glimmered like molten silver. She was tall, elegant, and precise in her movements, exuding a presence that was both commanding and serene. "You're awake," she said, her voice melodic but tinged with urgency. "Good. I was beginning to think I'd need to perform a complete neural reset." Ethan tried to sit up, but a wave of dizziness forced him back down. Where am I?" he croaked. "You're in the med bay of the Sindaric Ark, a research vessel assigned to Terra's 7. You were injured in the crash," Lyra explained as she adjusted the ambient lighting to a warmer hue. "I'm responsible for your care." Ethan blinked. "Responsible for my care?" Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile. "Yes. You're unconscious for much of the last 24 hours. My role is to ensure your recovery physically, mentally, and safely. The beginning, a crash-landed mission." Ethan Mercer wasn't a soldier, at least not by official title. He was a field scientist specializing in exobiology, working under Earth's interstellar research program. His mission to Terra's 7 had been intended as a routine survey of the planet's microbial and plant life, but routine had a tendency to explode when uncharted atmospheres and extreme gravitational anomalies were involved. The shuttle crash had torn him from his team, leaving him battered, disoriented, and utterly dependent on Lyra's species' advanced medical technologies. The Sindaric, Lyra's people, were renowned throughout the quadrant for their biological mastery, capable of repairing injuries that would be fatal to humans. But being dependent was humiliating for Ethan. He was used to independence, resourcefulness, and self-reliance. Now he was lying naked on a glowing med platform, unable to move without risking harm to himself, under the careful watch of an alien caretaker. First contact, trust and discomfort. Lyra approached the platform with quiet grace, her elongated fingers brushing over a console that sent ripples of energy across the room. "Your vital signs are stabilizing, but your musculoskeletal system has suffered severe trauma. I need to monitor your recovery closely." Ethan shifted slightly. "Closely? You need assistance with movement, hygiene, and nutrition. For the next several days, you'll be reliant on me." The words hit him like a physical blow. You mean I can't even?" "Correct," Lyra said, unfazed. "Your body is compromised. Any attempt to perform basic functions independently could result in permanent damage. I'm afraid you'll have to trust me entirely." Ethan wanted to argue, but as he tried to lift his arm, a sharp jolt of pain reminded him he had no choice. He exhaled slowly. "All right. I trust you. I suppose I don't have a choice." Lyra's expression softened slightly. "Good. That is wise. Resistance may impede your healing." The middle, a strange, intimate routine. The days that followed were unlike anything Ethan had experienced. Lyra's care was methodical, precise, and, at times, startlingly intimate. She assisted him with bathing, feeding, and even gentle stretches to prevent atrophy. Her touch was clinical yet comforting, an alien combination of professionalism and innate warmth. At first, Ethan's discomfort was overwhelming. He had never been so physically vulnerable in his life, and the constant awareness of Lyra's presence made him restless. But gradually, he began to notice nuances in her behavior, subtle glances, micro-expressions, and even a careful modulation in the energy she emitted around him. It was in the quiet moments, while she adjusted his limb supports or guided him through breathing exercises, that Ethan began to feel something unexpected: connection. One afternoon, as Lyra guided his legs through a delicate range of motion sequence, he caught her looking at him not with clinical detachment, but with something he couldn't define. A spark of curiosity, concern, perhaps even affection. "Ethan," she said softly, "I need you to remain calm. Any sudden movements could disrupt the healing process." "I know," he replied, voice steadying. "It's just strange, being this dependent." "It is," she admitted. "I have cared for many species, but none have required this level of cooperation between caregiver and patient." Ethan's heart skipped a beat. The acknowledgement was more than professional. It was personal. The turning point: unexpected discovery. By the fourth day, Ethan's condition had improved enough for him to begin assisted standing exercises. Lyra guided him with precise movements, her energy field enveloping him, stabilizing his weakened muscles and bones. During one session, a sudden jolt triggered an unexpected physiological reaction in Ethan. His body responded instinctively to Lyra's energy field, amplifying it in ways neither of them anticipated. He felt a surge of warmth, a connection that was not purely physical but energetic, coursing through him. Lyra froze mid-motion, recognizing the anomaly. "Your physiology is unusual," she murmured, adjusting her field to prevent overstimulation. Ethan opened his eyes, startled. "What just happened?" "You have a rare compatibility with my species' energy field," she explained carefully. "It is unprecedented. Your body resonates with my energy in a way that accelerates healing, but also amplifies emotional and neurological sensitivity." Ethan swallowed. "So, I'm reacting to you?" Lyra's expression was unreadable. "In a way, yes. But the resonance is beneficial. You are healing faster than expected. You are connected." The word connected lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken implications. Ethan's gaze met hers, and for the first time, he understood the intimacy of their shared experience. It was not sexual, it was deeper, a merging of biological and emotional rhythms that transcended species. The struggle, vulnerability, and trust. The resonance created a new challenge. Ethan's emotions were amplified, his thoughts more transparent, and his body more sensitive to Lyra's presence. Simple touches, her guiding hand on his shoulder, the brushing of her fingers against his arm, sent shivers of awareness through him. He began to struggle with boundaries. Lyra was his caretaker, his healer, yet the connection made him feel exposed in ways he hadn't anticipated. "Lyra," he said one evening, voice low, "I don't know how to handle this. The connection, it's too intense." She paused, considering her words carefully. "Ethan, this is part of the healing process. You must trust the connection as you trust me. Resistance will only slow your recovery." He exhaled sharply. "I'm not used to trusting anyone this completely." "You are learning," she said, her tone gentle. "And you are doing well. The unexpected is often the most powerful teacher." The resolution, mutual understanding. By the seventh day, Ethan was able to stand and move independently, though still under careful observation. The connection between him and Lyra had stabilized. The intensity of the resonance had mellowed, leaving behind a subtle, almost comforting awareness of each other's presence. Ethan realized that the experience had changed him not just physically, but emotionally. He had discovered the value of dependence, trust, and collaboration in ways he had never imagined. Lyra, too, had learned from him the nuances of human emotion, resilience, and adaptability. One morning, as sunlight filtered through the iridescent walls, Ethan stood on his own, the first unassisted steps he had taken in a week. Lyra observed silently, her silver eyes glimmering with what he now recognized as pride. "You've done well," she said. "More than I anticipated." "I could not have done it without you," he admitted. "Your care, it made all the difference." Lyra inclined her head. "And you have taught me as well. That trust, even in the most unexpected circumstances, can bridge species, physiology, and perception." Ethan smiled, a mixture of relief and admiration. "I never thought I'd learn that from an alien medbay." "Nor I from a human," Lyra replied, her voice softening, carrying a warmth that was uniquely hers. The ending, a new kind of connection. When Ethan was finally cleared for departure, he prepared to return to Earth. But neither he nor Lyra would forget the bond they had formed, a connection beyond words, a merging of biology, emotion, and trust that had changed them both. As he stepped onto the transport shuttle, he looked back at Lyra. "Will I see you again?" Her eyes glimmered with silver light. "Perhaps. But remember this, what happened here will remain with you always. And that is enough." Ethan nodded. He had expected a routine mission, a crash, and recovery. Instead, he had found friendship, trust, and an unprecedented connection that transcended species. The shuttle lifted, leaving the Syndaric arc behind, but the resonance lingered within him, a quiet, persistent reminder that sometimes, the most unexpected experiences bring the deepest lessons. And in a galaxy filled with uncertainty, that was more valuable than anything else. The end.